Ghost in the Code.
The house on Maple Street stood quiet, its once lively rooms now cloaked in a heavy stillness. 6 months ago, Tom Harper, a brilliant IT expert, had collapsed in the kitchen, a brain aneurysm stealing him away in an instant. He was the heart of the family, a man who spun code into fantastical worlds for a gaming company, creating adventures where knights battled shadow beasts and starships danced among nebulae. Quality games that kids around the world loved to play on their consoles. His wife, Sarah, and their daughters, 10-year-old Lily and 12-year-old Emma, were left to navigate a world that felt hollow without the love he had for them and the fun they had together. Sarah poured herself into keeping the family afloat. Her nursing shifts stretched long into the night, but she made sure the girls had warm dinners, clean clothes, and bedtime stories, even when exhaustion weighed her down. Emma, thoughtful and reserved, retreated into novels, her nose buried in pages that offered escape. Lily, bursting with imagination, filled sketchbooks with dragons and heroes inspired by the games her dad used to play with them. Their gaming console and TV sat quietly in the bedroom, hardly ever turned on these days. Playing games would remind them of Dad. Strange things began to happen in the girls' bedroom. At first, it was subtle. The TV would flicker on in the dead of night, tuned into nothing, just images of snowy static dancing around the screen. The console's fan would whir, and the green power light would flicker on. This happened a few times, but the girls, when they got up in the morning, just turned it off, puzzled about how it turned on in the first place. One morning at breakfast, Lily told her mom that Emma must have been playing games at night again, as she found the TV and console both still on when she got up. Emma protested. "Me? I've not played games in months. It must have been you." Lily and Emma were about to get into a heated argument, but Sarah stopped it before it got out of hand. "You need to sleep, not be up playing games all night," she'd say, her voice gentle but firm. But Emma and Lily shook their heads, insisting they hadn't touched the console. "It just turns on, Mom," said Emma 2 days later. Her dark eyes were serious as she pushed her glasses up her nose. "It's like it's alive." Lily nodded, clutching a pencil smudged with charcoal from her latest drawing. "Yeah, we've been watching it. It wants to play by itself. It's creepy but kinda cool." Sarah dismissed it as a glitch. Tom had always tinkered with the console, installing custom firmware and tweaking its settings to make it run faster, display sharper. Maybe a wire was loose, or his modifications were acting up. She meant to call a technician, but her days were a blur of work and parenting, and the thought slipped away. Then the girls started talking about the orbs. It began with Lily, who loved making goofy videos on her phone. One evening, while filming herself twirling in her room, she froze. Her screen showed faint glowing specks floating in the air. Not dust, not lens flares, but soft pulsing orbs of light, like tiny stars adrift. "Emma, come look," she called, her voice a mix of awe and nerves. Emma, ever the skeptic, grabbed her own phone and started recording. The orbs appeared, drifting lazily near the ceiling, their glow faint but undeniable. "They're moving," Emma whispered, her phone tracking their path. The orbs floated towards the TV and console, then disappeared into the devices. The console whirred, its lights blinking green, and the TV crackled, displaying a snowy static screen. Sarah was in the kitchen deciding what to pack for her lunch tomorrow, when the girls burst in, their voices overlapping in a frantic jumble. "Mom, you have to see this." Lily thrust her phone at Sarah, who wiped her hands on a dish towel and watched the shaky footage. The orbs danced across the screen, unmistakable and strange. "It's probably just a trick of the light," Sarah said, but doubt crept into her voice. She'd seen plenty of odd things in her years as a nurse, but this was different. That night, instead of going to her bedroom, Sarah lay on Lily's bed, cuddling and chatting with the girls, waiting to see if anything would happen. Emma, with her cell phone camera on, was scanning the room, hoping for orbs to appear. The house was silent. Lily and Sarah were quietly watching when suddenly, but quietly, not wanting to scare it away, Emma burst out, "It's here! It's here!" They all watched Emma's cell phone screen as she tracked the balls of light drifting around the room. The orbs moved faster, and with more purpose this time. Suddenly, the light dived into the TV and game console. The console powered on, its fans spinning. The TV flickered, static filling the screen. Sarah gasped whilst Lily gave her mom a knowing smile. "Look," Emma pointed, her voice barely a whisper. In the static, a shape began to form, faint and flickering, like a shadow in a storm. Slowly, it sharpened into the outline of a face, a strong jaw, a familiar nose. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. It was Tom. "Tom?" she whispered, her voice trembling. The girls clutched her hands, their eyes wide. The static shifted, and words appeared, etched in flickering gray. "I miss you." Lily let out a small sob, and Emma's glasses fogged with tears. "Daddy?" Lily's voice was tiny, fragile. Sarah pulled them close, her own tears spilling over. The words lingered, pulsing softly, then faded. The face returned, clearer now, Tom's warm eyes unmistakable even in the grainy static. For a moment, it felt like he was there, watching them. They sat, huddled together, crying and whispering his name. The TV went dark, and the console fell silent, but the air felt charged, as if Tom's presence lingered in the room. Sarah's mind raced. Was this real? A glitch? A message? She didn't know, but the warmth in her chest told her it was him. Over the next few weeks, the orbs became a quiet ritual. They appeared at night, always near the console, and the family would gather, phones in hand, waiting for a sign. Sarah started researching, scouring online forums about paranormal activity and technology. She read about electronic voice phenomena, about spirits using devices as conduits. It sounded wild, but she couldn't deny what they'd seen. Tom had always said code was like magic, a way to shape reality. Had he woven something of himself into the console, a digital echo of his soul? She began leaving the console on at night, a silent invitation. She even spoke to him when alone, whispering about Emma's science fair win or Lily's latest dragon sketch. It felt less like talking to a ghost, and more like reconnecting with a piece of her heart. The girls found their own ways to cope. Emma wrote a short story about a coder whose spirit lived in a game, guiding his family through quests. Lily drew glowing orbs protecting a house under a starry sky, her pencils capturing the hope she felt. They still missed their dad, but the orbs made the pain less sharp, like a wound beginning to heal. One night, as the orbs danced and the TV flickered, Sarah spoke to the screen. "Tom, we're trying so hard. We miss you, but we're okay. Are you okay?" The static pulsed, and new words formed. "Always with you." The girls gasped, and Sarah felt a warmth spread through her, like Tom's hand on her shoulder. The orbs swirled faster, then faded, leaving the room quiet. Weeks later, the TV flickered on one last time. Instead of static, it loaded a game, Tom's favorite, a space adventure he'd poured years into. A single spaceship appeared, drifting through a starry sky. At the bottom, A message blinked. For my girls. The ship moved with purpose, weaving through asteroids with a grace that felt alive. Sarah and the girls watched, mesmerized as it soared, a final gift from Tom. The screen faded to black, leaving one word: forever. The orbs stopped appearing after that. The console stayed silent, the TV dark. But the family didn't need them anymore. Tom's love was etched into their hearts, woven into the code he'd left behind. Sarah hugged her daughters, their tears mingling with smiles. "He's still here," she said, and they nodded, knowing it was true. In the quiet house on Maple Street, love lingered, a signal that would never fade.